At the Institute for Experiential AI, we've divided up health and life sciences. It's not really clear where the boundary is, right? It's very blurred, and it's a great thing that Professor Jean Tunick and I are really collaborative with respect to how we're going to build this program. But from the life sciences side, what really struck me was the time it takes for a new discovery in the lab to make its way into clinical care. And part of the reason for that is the ethical responsibility we have to ensure that it works and it's safe. There's also complex regulatory challenges associated with getting new drugs and treatments, diagnostics approved, et cetera. We learned that during COVID in terms of the need for these emergency authorizations. But then there's also very difficult financial decisions that have to be made by insurance companies, et cetera. So why am I describing it this way? Well, you have to take, my background's in complex systems, you have to take a complex systems approach to it, which means on the panel, we had people from health agencies, we had researchers, we had educationalists, we have in the room, we have people thinking about the insurance side of things. You need all those people together if we're going to solve this problem of how we leverage AI to accelerate, discovery to treatment. It has to touch all aspects of it, from the way we interact with our patients to the way that we support healthcare providers to prescribe drugs, to pay for drugs, and then of course the way we regulate drugs, the way that we fund research, and all of these things. You think about these mRNA vaccines that saved millions and millions of lives. It was a neglected technology that people have been working on for 20 years that was funded as basic science, and it turns out we needed it.
Right.
And no, we don't do basic science because we think we might need it. We do it because of the discovery process. But every once in a while, it turns out that we need it. Well, the biggest takeaway is just how many different kinds of people showed up. There's 1.4 million people in Maine, and so we were pretty close to 0.1% of the population of the whole state. I hope the fire marshal isn't listening. That showed up, including online, but also diverse people across age, across race, ethnicity, across jobs, all here to talk about AI and Maine. And I think the special thing is that convening power of the Roux Institute and of Northeastern University. And why does that matter? Well, on the healthcare panel, you have Northern Lights and Maine Health on the same panel. The only way that we're going to be successful with artificial intelligence is if data from Northern Lights can interact with data from Maine Health. And the way that that will happen is by sharing of models and insights, not sharing of actual data. But it needs to work with a trusted intermediary and one that understands and respects ethics, privacy, responsible AI. And that's the Institute for Experiential AI, that's the Roux Institute, that's Northeastern, is we're gonna have this very special, sort of like Switzerland, where we can be the neutral party that brings people together as a convener, that also has the same kind of, and this is something we heard throughout the day, is how much Mainers desire and respect privacy and ethical use of all things, the environmental resources, the data resources, all of those. And that's in our DNA as well at the Institute. And that's what we're bringing to the state and to the field of AI in Maine.